guys. Okay, so I saw a tag online. It's called the Breastfeeding Tag, and I thought I would do it. I got this idea from Brit's Breakdown. I'll put her link to her page in the description box. But it's a few questions. 8 questions, and basically it's just about breastfeeding. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. Number 1: where's the craziest, most random place you've breastfed? Okay, so I think that the craziest place that I've breastfed is, okay, so back in the summer I took a trip to New York, and like I said in the other video, I'm from Detroit, so went to New York, and I ended up having to breastfeed on the subway. I was lost, and she was hungry, so I had to breastfeed her on the subway. I think that's one of the craziest ones I can think of at the moment. Alright, next question. How many hours do you think you've spent breastfeeding since your little one's birth? Okay, so my daughter is 2. She turned 2 in March. So I've been breastfeeding her since birth, and she's 2, so it's been 2 years. How many hours have I spent? A lot. I can't even come up with an exact amount. A lot. Majority of my time spent these last 2 years has been spent breastfeeding. Next question. Favorite thing about breastfeeding? I have a few favorite things. One of the favorite things is the fact that breastfeeding is convenient. You don't have to go and make bottles. You don't have to make sure that you have formula. You don't have to do any of that. You just pop it out and go. Other thing I love about breastfeeding is the connection that we made as a result of breastfeeding. Now it gets a little outrageous now because she's 2 and she's still, running to suck and do all of that, but I think it's still worth the experience. Number 4, toughest moment while breastfeeding. Okay, the toughest moment that happens all the time is when you're out in public and your little one wants to breastfeed. Now, when she was little, it was a little better because you kind of knew when she would want to feed, and you could kind of, form your day around the feeding schedule. Now that she's 2, she wants it, and when you tell her no, she goes crazy. So it's not really an opportunity to be like, no, wait, hold on. One of the toughest moments was recently. We were at the mall in Sears, and she wanted to breastfeed. I was in line. The line was wrapped all the way around. It was a good 10-20 people in front of us in line, and it was something that I really need to get. So I'm like, okay, well, we just gotta wait till we get out of here and I'll feed you. She was not having it. So she was crying and screaming. Everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. Like, why can't you hush your child? And it was just nothing I could do. She wasn't going to be satisfied until she got her milk. And it took a while because the line was so long. So public feedings are kind of hard. How do you entertain yourself while breastfeeding? Easy. I watch videos on YouTube. I watch TV. I go on Facebook, play online, and play on my phone. That's about it. I mean, it gets to a point where you're able to multitask. Like, I can breastfeed and cook. I can breastfeed and do homework. I can breastfeed and clean up. I have learned to multitask while breastfeeding, so it's easy to entertain myself. Favorite breastfeeding gadgets: clothing, pillow, nursing bra, etc. Okay, one of my favorite products was the little nursing pads that you put in your bra to stop the milk from leaking through. I don't really use them anymore, but back in the beginning, when I used to have milk leaking, I went through like a good 3 or 4 different brands of nursing pads. And the ones that I ended up finding that worked the best were the like generic brand CVS nursing pads. They're like $5.99. I think it was 36 in a pack, and I love them. They really caught the milk so that it didn't leak through. I didn't have any problems with them, and they were much better than the, I think it was Playtex, or I can't think of the other brand, the purple box ones. They were way better than both of those brands, so I'd recommend the CVS brand nursing pads to anybody who's breastfeeding. Number 7, how long do you plan to breastfeed? I get asked this question all the time by everyone, and I am lucky that I'm able to continue breastfeeding. I know a lot of people don't breastfeed past 6 months, and I'm lucky that I have the physical ability to continue making milk, to be able to breastfeed, and I'm also blessed that I have the time and ability to be with my child and to allow her to nurse when she wants to. So as far as when I plan to stop, like I said, she's 2, so a lot of people look at me like, ooh, she's still breastfeeding and she's 2, when are you gonna stop? But it's kind of now where it's comforting to her, so I don't really want to deprive her of being comforted. So I've talked to her doctor, and the doctor doesn't really see anything wrong with it. In fact, the doctor said that basically she will stop nursing on her own. So the normal age that they say children breastfeed and will stop naturally is between, I think, age 3 and 5 or something to that effect. So hopefully within the next year she should be done. Hopefully by the end of this year she'll be done breastfeeding, because I do plan to go back to work eventually. Last question, number 8. Most embarrassing breastfeeding moments. Ooh. Okay, this kind of just happened the other day, a couple of Sundays ago. I was at church, and I ended up having to sit right in the front, and the pastor was like literally looking down at me, and she wanted to breastfeed. So instead of allowing her to scream and cry in church, I allowed her to breastfeed, and she likes to play with one boob while she sucks, and it can be a little embarrassing at times. So I was definitely like, oh my God, I hope the pastor's not looking at me like, oh my God, he's going to kick me out of church because I'm breastfeeding and he's looking at me. Oh my God, it really tripped me out, but it was fine. So yeah, so that's basically about it. If you have any questions about breastfeeding or any questions about things used for breastfeeding, because I have used a pump, so I can give you some information about pumps if you want to know anything about that. Any questions about breastfeeding, just let me know. I've been doing it for a while now, and I guess you could call me an expert. So yeah, I think that is all the questions on the list for that. So this concludes the breastfeeding tag. I'd like to thank Brit's Breakdown for posting her breastfeeding tag, and I would like to tag all the other breastfeeding moms out there, moms who have breastfed. I'm gonna tag Tiffany Darling from the Daily Davidsons, because I know that she breastfed both of her kids, so I'm gonna tag her in this. And I know she has a new baby coming, and I believe she's gonna breastfeed that baby also, so I'm sure she'd like to do this one. And also any other breastfeeding moms out there, feel free to complete this tag and let me know what you think of my answers. If you have any other questions, that's about it. Alright, so I'll see you in the next vlog. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.